Hello and welcome back to our news bulletin, coming to you live from Warsaw. I'm Salia Strzemska. In a speech at the European Forum on New Ideas in Warsaw, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said that, quote, the era of naive globalization is coming to an end, stressing the need for the Polish economy to concentrate on local priorities. Evacuations reports.
The Polish Prime Minister wants to repolonize the Polish economy. Head of the Polish government, Donald Tusk, has said that Poland should, quote, selfishly take care of the interests of its own entrepreneurs. Donald Tusk has also appealed to the Polish people, Polish businesses, but also Polish state-owned companies to favor Polish ideas and Polish companies over the foreign competition.
Today, Poland, Europe, and the entire world find themselves in a situation where we must state loudly and clearly that we will endure, we will prevail, and we will achieve success for our nation, for our enterprises, for our families, and for our citizens. Those of us who draw the correct conclusion from the events unfolding around us will prosper. And now, I believe the time has come to say, firmly and unambiguously, that the era of naive globalization is coming to an end.
And these remarks came at the European Forum of New Ideas, which is attended by Polish employers and businesses. And these words were met with a certain enthusiasm on site. The European Forum of New Ideas is an annual conference which focuses on global trends, new ideas, and the future of Europe. And this edition is focused on the future of employment in the face of challenges such as rapidly developing new technologies, but also changing demographics in Poland, as well as this new era of global competition. And the Polish government is present here. It wanted to send a signal that it acknowledges all of these issues, and it wanted to show that it has a solution. So the Polish Prime Minister believes that getting rid of over-regulation, as well as this Poland-first approach, this economically nationalistic approach, is the right way forward. From Warsaw for TVP World, Evacuations.
A horrific attack on Ukraine took place on Sunday morning when 2 Russian ballistic missiles hit the center of Sumy, killing 35 people, including children, and wounding over 100 others. Our correspondent Oskar Terji has this report.
The Ukrainian government has approved the dismissal of the governor of the Sumy region following Sunday's deadly Russian ballistic missile attack here in Sumy, which killed 35 people and injured 119. Now, the workers here are still working under difficult conditions. We've had air raid alerts. There are still attacks happening across Ukraine while they try and clean up following the attack on Sunday. Now, there's also a difficult political situation as the local authorities have confirmed that a military award ceremony was planned in Sumy shortly before the attack happened. Now, the governor, the dismissed governor, has denied responsibility for that, but clearly it's something the government in Kyiv thought was important to take action on. It's Oskar Terji reporting from Sumy for TVP World.
Battles in Pokrovsk, a strategic road and rail hub in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region, rage on. With hopes for a ceasefire decreasing, many of the residents remaining in the city are deciding to leave. The White Angels, a special unit of Ukraine's police, is evacuating the 2,500 mostly elderly residents who remain in the once vibrant city of 60,000.
Each day we receive requests for evacuation. Each day we evacuate people from the hot spots, from 10 to 30 people. The biggest number we evacuated on a single day was 60. Today we evacuated 23 people, including 4 kids, whose parents were hiding them in very dangerous places where hardly anyone would risk going. I have no idea what the parents were thinking. They had been evacuated before from Shevchenkove, so they do know what happens in places that the occupiers approach. Despite this, they stayed in Pokrovsk, one of the most dangerous areas.
Germany's next Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, is expected to make his first official international visit to Kiev on May 9th, just days after his anticipated confirmation as Chancellor. According to German news channel Welt, preparations are underway for Merz to attend the Coalition of the Willing summit in Ukraine's capital, alongside other European leaders, including France's Emmanuel Macron and Poland's Donald Tusk. Merz, a longtime advocate for supplying Taurus long-range missiles to Ukraine, has reiterated that any delivery would happen only in coordination with European allies. The Kyiv summit will mark Merz's first official act on the international stage as Germany's new Chancellor, if confirmed on May 6th, as expected. And moving across the Atlantic, US President Donald Trump rejected Ukraine's request to buy Patriot missile batteries. Speaking to journalists at the White House, he appeared to place the responsibility for the war on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and former US President Joe Biden, rather than only on Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia began its full-scale aggression against Ukraine in February of 2022, following its earlier illegal annexation of Crimea and parts of the Donbass in 2014.
Have you spoken to President Zelensky, sir, about his offer to purchase more Patriot missile batteries?
Oh, I don't know. He's always looking to purchase missiles, you know. He's against... Listen, when you start a war, you got to know that you can win the war, right? You don't start a war against somebody that's 20 times your size and then hope that people give you some missiles. The mistake was letting the war happen. If Biden were competent and if Zelensky were competent, and I don't know that he is. We had a rough session with this guy over here. He just kept asking for more and more. That war should have never been allowed to happen.
Donald Trump's administration is looking to cut even more costs, this time targeting U.S. State Department. A proposed bill would cut the State Department's budget by almost 50%. The proposal put forward by the White House's Office of Management and Budget would see the State Department shut down overseas diplomatic missions, cut diplomatic staff, and eliminate funding for almost all international organizations, including NATO and the UN. The bill is still in an early phase, meaning it will have to pass multiple rounds of reviews and amendments before being put to vote. Experts say the proposed bill is not likely to be passed by Congress and likely to also face opposition from the State Department leadership. This proposal is in line with Donald Trump's administration's efforts to reduce the costs of running the federal government. Some European leaders have been advised not to attend Russia's Victory Day parade due to take place in Moscow next month. Caution from the EU's top diplomat Kaja Kallas was signaled after various presidents and prime ministers expressed their desire to attend the controversial military parade. Our EU correspondent Angela Skujins reports.
Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, as well as the Serbian President Alexander Vučić, have both confirmed that they will attend a controversial military parade scheduled to take place in Moscow next month. However, questions loom over the presence of the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, as well as the President of Turkey. We're expecting more updates as that invite list takes shape. So what makes this military parade so controversial? Now, the date is rooted in symbolism. On this day in 1945, Nazi Germany officially capitulated to the Russian Red Army. However, in the decades since, many critics have described the event as a propagandist opportunity for Russia to puff up its military might. This is exactly why the EU High Representative Kaja Kallas has warned EU aspirant countries such as Serbia from attending. Instead, she suggested that countries should gather in Kyiv on that day, May the 9th, to celebrate Europe Day. Many are seeing this as well as an opportunity for these allies to express their solidarity with Ukraine as it battles another year of Russian aggression. Angela Skujins from the Belgian capital for TVP World.
Asked about further sanctions against Russia following the recent attacks on Ukraine, Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski said recent strikes indicate that Russia has no remorse over killing Ukrainian civilians. Sikorski also added that Viktor Orban's upcoming visit to Moscow indicates the Hungarian Prime Minister's, quote, lack of moral clarity.
Definitely, yes. Multiple ministers pointed this out in their statements. But we have one country, Hungary, which doesn't have this moral clarity we have about Putin's attacks. He's talking about peace while bombing civilians and killing children. The victim agrees to a ceasefire, and he either escalates its conditions or escalates attacks. This gives us moral clarity, but apparently not every country is guided by the same values.
And with this we conclude our news update. The bottom line is coming up next.